Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Thought for Shabbat. This week we read a Torah portion known as the Binding of Isaac. It's a Torah portion that's been studied for centuries, of course, and that speaks to us of the test that Abraham faced. In fact, the Torah portion begins this way. It said, "And it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham." And so what does that mean? Well, one rabbi from the Midrash said, "A potter does not examine defective vessels because he cannot give them a single blow without breaking them. What then does he examine? Only the sound vessels, for he will not break them even with many blows. Similarly, the Holy One, blessed be God, tests not the wicked, but the righteous." The Jewish people throughout history have been tested, and we must be one strong vessel because we haven't broken yet. Concerning the election of the new mayor of New York City, the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, is confounding to me and concerning and feels like a test as well. Not necessarily because of his politics, but more because of his leadership in the anti-Zionist movement that verges often on anti-Semitism, and his total disregard for the points of view from the river to the sea, and for the lack of calling out the evil that is known as Hamas and as the constant barrage of anti-Jewish and anti-Zionist sentiments that come from that camp. It's a test. It's a test for us Jews constantly. Does his election mean we failed the test? I don't know enough about history or politics to suggest that. But what I do know is that we, Jewish people, are strong. We will be tested time and again, and we will prevail. That has always been our motto. But I want to acknowledge how tough it is. I want to acknowledge the anxiety. I want to acknowledge even the fear. But I also don't want us to cower that we have lost the ability to be people who make a difference in the world, people who are engaged not just for our own safety, but for everyone's safety, for people to be able to thrive in freedom without bigotry or hatred. But when you elect people on a platform of hatred towards certain countries or religious groups, that becomes very concerning. So the fight goes on. We keep working very hard to make sure that the message of not only tikkun olam, the reparation of the world, but the tikkun of the Jewish people, that we stay strong, that we repair where we are damaged, and that we fight with everything we have to make sure this world is what it can be and ought to be. And that requires leaders who accept Israel as a Jewish state. It requires leaders who don't foment hate. It requires leaders who will stand up for that which is right. And if they don't, then we must, and we will continue to do that. Please, Abraham was tested, and he became one of the forefather, our forefather. We too, this moment in history in which we all live, will be studied for a long time, and we will be the people who they read about that stood up to those who tried to destroy us. We're not going anywhere. Shabbat Shalom. Join us tonight, 6:30 for family services, and also for Simple Shabbat rather, and that is an opportunity. If you don't want to go to the family service, want a more adult experience, we'll be having that at 6:30 at the exact same time in the chapel. So we hope you'll join us for that. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.